What's up, fluties? Today we're going to talk about how to put your flute together. The reason this is important is that this is the easiest way to break your flute. If you are squeezing the keys, you can bend them, then you have to go get them fixed. And if you are jamming the pieces of the flute together, you can bend the metal, and I have seen it bend so badly that the flute won't go back together. Then you have to go get it fixed. This is a pretty easy concept, but I've seen a lot of people mess it up. And a student level used flute is going to run about $300 to $400. So, I mean, these are not cheap. We want to make sure we take good care of them. The first thing we need to do is figure out which side of the case is the top and which is the bottom. I've seen a lot of people mess this up, like, for a long time. As in, they had their flute for 9 months and still were opening it upside down. If you can't keep it straight, stick a sticker on the top. Do something so you always know which way is up and you won't have your flute falling out everywhere. A lot of cases will have the brand name of the company that made the flute on the top. So, for example, this case is a Yamaha. It has Yamaha on the top. It does not have Yamaha on the bottom, but this isn't the case with every case. If your case has the name on both sides, once you figure out which way is the top, don't forget. Now, to open it, you are always going to lift the latch up. So if you have a simple latch where you just pull it and it's opened, you're going to lift it up. This latch is a little bit more complex. You're going to lift it up and then pull it down. Lift up and then pull it down. Open up your case and take a look at how the flute fits in there. Pretty much this is the universal setup. Sometimes you might see a weird case that's different than this. You're going to have the lip plate here facing in. You're going to have the spatula here facing in. And you're going to have this mess of keys all facing in. Sometimes if you put one of these pieces in backwards, like this guy is, you're not even going to get the case to close. So memorize this. We're lucky we only have 3 pieces, so you only have 3 parts to remember. When we're putting the flute together, I have 2 rules. The first is to try not to touch any keys. If you do end up touching keys, don't squeeze them. The other rule is make sure both of your thumbs are pointing the same direction. If your thumbs are pointing at each other, you could bend the metal. So first we're going to take the head joint and we're going to take the body. And I'm going to hold the body up at the top where there are no keys. Head joint has no keys. And both thumbs are pointing the same direction. I'm just going to twist. If my thumbs had been facing the opposite direction, I would be doing this, and that's dangerous. You want to keep this metal piece round. So put it on there and twist. You're going to line up the embouchure hole with the keys on the body. And this is a Yamaha flute, so you can see they gave you a little arrow and a little circle, so you can line those up that way. If you have a Yamaha, they made it easy for you. Next, we're going to take the body. I'm going to hold it in the same place. And we're going to take the little foot joint guy. And notice there's a little ball here on the end of the foot joint. We're going to point that little ball toward the center of the last key on the body. Like this. And Yamaha also gives you little arrows to line this up. I see students doing this a lot. The keys all in one line, that's a really big stretch for the pinky. So try to keep that little ball toward the center there, and you can adjust it from there as you need to. Taking it apart is the same. You want to grab it, thumbs pointing the same way, and just twist it apart. It should come apart easily. If the flute is not going together and coming apart easily, usually it's just dirt that needs wiped off. So just take it and take a cloth and just wipe it off here. Take maybe the other section and wipe off the inside. If this doesn't help the problem, I don't recommend putting cork grease on it. This is not cork, this is metal. So if it's not going together right, the metal's bent. So Usually you can go to a repair shop and have them fix it for free. They might charge you a little bit, but it's not a difficult thing for them to do. The last bit of advice is once you've figured out which side is the top of your case, always carry your flute with the top of the case facing you. Why? Well, I've seen a lot of students put their flute away, close the case, but not actually close the case, and forget that they didn't close it, pick it up, start walking away, and flute parts spill everywhere. If the top is facing your leg and it comes open for whatever reason, your leg will catch the case and keep the flute inside, so it'll protect your flute. I hope this was useful for you. Have fun, and happy fluting!